Hey there, Trojans. Welcome to the series where you get an insider look at career opportunities around the world. Presented by the GEMS program at the USC Marshall School of Business, I'm your host, Michael Paranol, and this is The Catalyst.
On this special first episode of Season 2, we're taking you to the Walt Disney Studios in sunny Burbank, California. Located just north of USC, this is the place where hundreds of people work behind the scenes to bring the magic of Disney to you. Today, we get to sit down with proud Trojan and USC Leventhal School of Accounting alumnus Daniel Beverly, as he gives us the inside scoop on working in financial planning for a world-renowned employer like the Walt Disney Company. Hope you enjoy.
Well, Daniel, I'm really excited to be here at Disney, your place of work. Thank you for having us.
Of course. So happy to be here. I'm honored to be invited as a guest on your show.
You know, you've come a long way from starting at USC, now that you're here at Disney, but we want to take our audiences back to where you started, specifically your Trojan story.
I'll just start with my first distinct memory of USC, of when I recognized it. And it was when I was a young teen. I grew up in a household with not a lot of resources and didn't have much guidance. And when I recognized USC for the first time while being driven down the 110 freeway, I recognized it and I was like, oh, that's USC. And my first thought, which I still remember, was me being a student there feels like a fantasy. Yeah. I can't imagine being a student there. And that was my first initial memory of USC, is just something that felt so unachievable. But impossible things can come true.
Absolutely.
And through persistence, I was a student in college, and I realized I wanted to work in the firms that lead the world. And that's when through my research, I realized, there's really no better place to start than USC, especially if you love LA. Yeah, I decided to apply because I wanted to get into the Big Four, which are, the Big Four accounting firms.
Sure.
Deloitte, Ernst & Young, so forth. And so, yeah, that's how I got into USC, Marshall, Leventhal, and I guess the rest is history.
Well, I love that you mentioned choosing USC because of its connections to real world-leading industries such as the Big Four. You mentioned the Big Four accounting firms. They have tremendous relationships with USC, and your career really starts at the right foot when you join a university like USC. How did your time at USC open doors for you to work here in LA specifically?
I think that was one of the main reasons I chose USC. USC has such a clear path laid out to work in downtown LA. At USC, again, going to all the meet the firms, doing all the networking, going to the interview practices, going to the resume tailoring workshops, do everything. I just followed the instructions everybody gave me, and then a path was laid out for me to get into the Big Four of downtown LA. There's Big Four all over the world. But for me, getting to work in LA was a privilege, and that was brought forth by USC.
Going now into your current role here at Disney, can you describe to us what a day in your life is like?
Yeah, absolutely. I work in finance. I'm a CPA, and I'm a senior financial analyst doing content financial planning and analysis, FP&A, for Disney Plus. I've always had a passion for TV, for the entertainment industry, and more recently for streaming. I feel like, the entertainment space has been constantly evolving. We've got all these new platforms and this whole new way of watching TV and consuming content. And, streaming is, at the forefront of it. So to be working, at a major streaming platform and to know that I'm providing some value to that gives me a huge sense of fulfillment, when I log on to work and when I log off from work and turn on the TV.
Yeah. So I know that you've spent a lot of time here in LA. So let's talk about your city, Los Angeles. What kept you hooked on the energy of LA?
Oh, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Easily, for me, my favorite, city in the world. It's my home. And I mean, obviously, the entertainment industry was a big influence for me.
Sure.
I lived within a mile radius from a major studio.
Oh, wow.
So coming out of my house, whether I was going to school or going to work, I would just always be inspired, and I would always think, again, just like the USC thing, would I ever work at that studio? So these little, the fact that there's just so much greatness in this city, it just means that it's an endless source of inspiration.
What other places would you consider would be places to visit for someone who wants to explore Los Angeles?
I mean, I've got to give a shout out to Koreatown. I think being Korean American, I grew up knowing that area, being very familiar with that area. And I've seen it over the decades just evolve into what it is now. Just a lively, very popular place, And I can't name a single one, but I would say go to a pocha, which is like a gastro pub. And then afterwards, maybe go to a karaoke.
Karaoke is always fun. So now I want to ask you, Daniel, what are you excited about in your future?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with two things, my team and the industry we're in, the streaming industry. I love my team and I love the people that I'm surrounded with. And then I'm really excited about the streaming industry. I really like the fact that I get to work in this industry, again, because it's constantly evolving. The positive representation of AAPI is seeing a surge. I think we're seeing more of that post-pandemic. So in terms of looking at the future, I want to be a successful and accomplished AAPI TV executive that puts a lens on the authentic Asian American world that I grew up in.
Yeah, I think that really gives us a glimpse of how much you've really embraced the learning opportunities at USC, not only technically, because now you're a senior financial analyst here. Leventhal and Marshall made sure that you had the skills to blossom into this career, but even the DI aspect, which I think is so important, especially when you're looking at representation. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for having us today. I am so excited that you sat down with us and we're giving an opportunity for you to share your experience and for other Trojans and prospective Trojans to see what a Trojan education could lead to. So thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And as we always say here at The Catalyst and at USC,
Fight on!